watching an industry go from an underground, what I like to call the Wild West days, into a respected, legal, licensed industry.
There's endless business opportunities. It's like the internet boom.
Do you represent the new generation of cannabis entrepreneurs?
This is America's new hot industry.
So it's always important to make sure that you have high-quality pot.
With the medical marijuana, you take a hit of it, you're starting to feel, okay, I hurt, but I really don't care that I hurt.
We know that the production of marijuana supports all the other drugs. It's tied into so many other crimes.
Wait, search warrant! Yes on 19 is a yes for personal liberty. Yes, we cannabis.
There is nothing that any state or the federal government is going to be able to do to stand in the way of legalization of marijuana. Nothing.
After more than 70 years as an illegal drug, could it be possible that marijuana's moment has arrived? Medical marijuana laws are already on the books in Washington, D.C. and 15 states, and support for legalizing marijuana has never been greater. I'm Trish Regan. In the next hour, we'll take you inside a flourishing pot industry, one that's moved out of the shadows and into the mainstream of American life. The story of America's ever-increasing acceptance of marijuana begins here in the Colorado Rockies, the newest front in the war over pot's future, where cannabis is meeting capitalism head-on.
We're going to do a quiche today. Quiche gives you a lot of options.
Once a month at his downtown Denver restaurant, Chef Scott Durat teaches a cooking class.
Stirring that up there.
It's well attended.
We're going to throw some mushrooms in that bad boy.
Mostly retired and affluent boomers.
It's nice to see a lot of familiar faces in here.
It's exactly the market Durat and his wife and business partner Wanda James want to reach.
What we're seeing, which is really interesting, are older people, I would say over the age of 30, and definitely women.
Tons of women.
Women. And these women are your mom, you know, your grandmother. I mean, these are women that you see, you know, at the post office, at the daycare center.
Remember, it's quiche. So you can add whatever you like to your quiche.
It's their new twist on classic cuisine that draws this crowd. The ingredients are common.
We're going to put a little sprinkle in there.
Except for one, a Colorado-grown herb.
So it's always important to make sure that you have high-quality pot.
You heard it right. The secret ingredient is marijuana.
You want to bake it for about 30 to 40 minutes. So right there alone, you have a pie which is actually pretty daggone strong. This is breakfast.
Pot is going mainstream.
Come over here, guys. Give me love. Give me love.
And leading the way are people like Scott and Wanda. They're one of Denver's power couples.
Kingston, come here.
Prominent in the local political and business scenes. He's a former Marine. She's an ex-naval intelligence officer, a successful PR executive, and a top political fundraiser. In most places in America, they would be dope dealers.
Hey, Mike, you did a phenomenal job on the logo design.
In Colorado, they are savvy entrepreneurs in a fast-growing, state-sanctioned industry, branding and marketing medical marijuana under their label Simply Pure.
It's all grown here. This is pure Colorado bud.
It's a new kind of company in an old industry, one that generates tens of billions of dollars a year in this country, most of it illegally. Wanda and Scott are taking the high road, using their business know-how to take America's most popular drug from the back alley to the corporate suite.
Do you represent, in a way, the new generation of cannabis entrepreneurs?
Definitely. When you look around this industry and the people who have come into the industry, there's lots of professional people. There are people who were laid off from corporate America. This is America's new hot industry.
Wanda took us to the heart of their operation, a lush marijuana farm inside this temperature-controlled warehouse.
How often do these plants bud?
It's kind of a conveyor belt system. So what we have is every 2 to 3 weeks, you'll see us with a new crop that actually comes up from the budding cycle.
These 1,000-watt lights speed up the growth cycle. Mother Nature usually takes twice as long.
A typical plant that's, about this size, how many pounds of marijuana might that yield?
Most plants on the average will only yield about 2.5 ounces of marijuana.
An ounce retails for about...
The high-end weed would be anywhere from, $300 to $450.
And an eighth of the headband.
Even at those prices, medical marijuana is flying off the shelves.
These oyster crackers are really popular too. Let's try it all. Perfect.
I'll take a gram of the Hong Kong.
The choices are exotic.
The Maui Wowie I like.
You do? Okay, that works for you.
If you think choosing a bottle of wine is tough, good luck deciding between these. Need help? Just ask the pros, better known here as bud tenders.
THC is going to keep us up, active, alert, to ease pain.
Okay.
And as long as you have a state medical marijuana license, you can sample all you want.
Oh, the chocolates. Whoa, these are so good.
In tough times, medical marijuana is one industry that's putting people to work. Thousands are growing, trimming, testing, cooking, and selling the leafy green plant.
It smells amazing. That's sold.
You're looking at a time when the economy is basically in a toilet. Real estate brokers, contractors, city agencies, insurance companies,
And yet,
suppliers.
people are still smoking pot.
Exactly.
And it's all regulated, all taxed, and all legal as far as the state is concerned. Federal law says pot is illegal, but back in 2009, President Obama directed the U.S. Department of Justice to defer to state laws regarding medical marijuana. This single memo turned 70 years of prohibition on its head. It advised U.S. attorneys in medical marijuana states to not go after individuals who are in compliance with state laws. The threat of raids by the Drug Enforcement Administration seemed a thing of the past, and Colorado's cannabis gold rush took off. Suddenly, people applied for medical marijuana licenses in droves, flooding the health department with more than 500 applications a day. The number of dispensaries jumped from about a dozen to more than 1,000 across the state, outnumbering Starbucks almost 2 to 1. You can buy pot next to a pizzeria, an auto repair shop, inside a medical office building. From downtown to the suburbs, they've become neighborhood fixtures. Too close to home for some parents, like Eric and Stacy Howell.
You don't want it invading your household, let alone your neighborhood, let alone your state.
Howell is an elementary school teacher and a mother of 3.
As a parent, drugs are always in the back of your mind. From the minute your child is born, that's something you have to teach your child because it's out there. It's like, can my kids still get a hold of it? So what goes in the middle?
She supports the use of medical marijuana by those who are seriously ill, but believes the state's embrace of pot is a threat to her children.
How am I trying to teach my kid that it's still an illegal drug? Federally, it's still illegal. You can't use it, even though the state of Colorado says, yes, you can from a medical standpoint. They are making quite a bit of money, and it is a big tax revenue, but at whose expense?
One of the big fears that I keep hearing over and over again is, what kind of signal are we sending to our young people?
What kind of signal does it send to your children when you have a fully stocked refrigerator with Coors Light or with, Budweiser in it, and then the campaigns that are behind those alcohol products of the half-naked women? I mean, what kind of signal is that? We're not talking about some reggae concert or you being stoned in your dorm room. We're talking about a whole emerging business here with responsible people.
And there's a whole army of them. People like 21-year-old Samantha Sant.
How have you been? Great. How have you been?
She jumped at the chance to get in on the ground floor of the pot boom, selling seeds.
We have a new strain out for you. We're a new enterprise. There's endless business opportunities. It's like the internet boom. The YPO hapa is a shorter plant.
Equipped with a business degree, Sant's first job out of college is with the Centennial Seed Company. The seeds aren't cheap. They retail for $70 to $100 a dozen.
So we're going to do 1 roughneck and 2 IPO today?
That'd be great.
Okay. We have close to 100 retailers in under 6 months. We keep receiving calls day in and day out of more people interested in seed.
There you go. Great, and there you go.
But just as Colorado's pot business took on an air of legitimacy and began thriving, the federal government fired a warning shot aimed right at this man, Chris Bartkowitz. Bartkowitz had been cultivating for years, long before medical marijuana was legal.
This plant is sour diesel. It's been rated in magazines as a 10 out of 10 for growing, for medicine.
He says he wanted nothing more than to go above ground and become licensed and legitimate.
You don't see back alley deals with cigarettes. You don't see back alley deals with alcohol. But you do see it with marijuana. If it was legalized, taxed, and government regulated, we wouldn't have problems like this. I wouldn't be facing life in prison.
That's right. Life in prison, done in by his own audacity. Bartkowitz was just another pot grower when a local TV station asked for an interview. He agreed and proudly showed off the goods in his basement.
I don't think the average person realizes how close to their front door it is.
It was a sensational story with a dramatic ending. The DEA raided Bartkowitz's grow and arrested him.
If you go on the news and you show this marijuana grow and you tell me what house it's in, what am I left to do?
Special Agent Jeff Sweeten was in charge of the case.
A violation of federal law, clear and simple.
But not so clear and simple to Bartkowitz, who'd put his faith in that Justice Department memo, which said the feds would not enforce a crackdown. He was charged with possession of more than 100 marijuana plants with intent to manufacture and distribute.
I was state compliant. I had no fear. I was not worried about the feds coming.
But you knew you were in violation of federal law.
Not according to the memo, I wasn't. No state charges have been levied against me and no state investigation was conducted. Why would I even have a hint of fear of the federal government?
With a prior drug conviction, Bartkowitz was looking at 40 years to life. He pled guilty and is awaiting his sentence, hoping to reduce it to 5 years. With so many medical marijuana businesses here breaking federal law, Bartkowitz's story sounded the alarm. But Wanda and Scott are taking their chances.
Doesn't it make you a little bit nervous? You could potentially face jail time?
The federal government has been very, very clear in its guidelines that if you are operating with under the guise of your state regulations, that it's supposed to be a hands-off scenario, which is why we feel confident to be able to do this industry and not fear every morning when we wake up being arrested for this.
Come here, Brooklyn.
Wanda James may not fear going to jail, but that's not the case for growers in states without medical marijuana laws, where the crackdown continues. That's coming up. But first,
take this with your ID and
inside a cannabis clinic. Is this doctor healing sick patients?
Open wide and say, oh, let's see.
Or just giving potheads permission to get stoned?
1, 2, 3, cannabis.
Aiding or abetting? When Marijuana USA continues.